The early Tasmanian spring, which features rain and wind, has suddenly given way to sunshine and heat, and it feels like we've been catapulted into summer. But it isn't quite summer yet. It's still spring. However, it is now warm enough to encourage me to start planting some of those vegetables that are summer vegetables that are a little bit marginal in Tasmania, and so you don't like to waste any of the heat. You like to get them in the ground as soon as it starts to heat up like this. That's some corn, just sweet corn, and I will plant 3 rows of that today. I prepared the ground with some blood and bone, and I'll plant the corn generally 2 seeds together around about 25-30 centimeters apart. That's around about a foot apart, and I'll plant 3 rows of that today because even though I'll plant a little bit more in another 2 or 3 weeks, it's good to stage it a little bit so it doesn't all arrive at once. Otherwise you become totally overwhelmed with corn when it does come. The other thing I'm planting is some pumpkins. This is a pumpkin that I've never grown before. It's called small sugar. It's better known probably in the United States. I bought it from a Tasmanian seed company, Southern Harvest, and I'm interested to try it because I'm always looking for a sweet pumpkin. I prefer a sweet pumpkin to a dry pumpkin that will grow in the Tasmanian climate. Pumpkins, like corn, are a little bit marginal in Tasmania. The season isn't really as long or as hot as they like, so you're trying to fit them in the space. So a quick growing pumpkin is the key. So the pumpkins I prepared by putting some blood and bone down and also some ash from the fire, because pumpkins love potash, and topping that off with some compost. So I'm going to plant probably 3 seeds per mound of this pumpkin, and we hope to have some good success. I wouldn't normally have to water things like pumpkins and corn to get them to germinate, but this year there seems to be a dramatic shift from the damp weather to the dry weather. There's no significant rain predicted for at least the next week, so if I want to get these seeds up, I need to give them some water to get them started, and hopefully maybe by next weekend there will be a little bit of rain follow up to keep them going. It's amazing sometimes how dramatically and quickly the season can shift. Even though spring has obviously been here with the fruit trees flowering and the garden coming to life, it's still been quite cool and rainy. But now it suddenly feels like we're in Queensland and it's a lot hotter than we're used to after the last few months of winter. So this will encourage me very quickly to try and get my tomatoes out. Circumstances may mean that it's still 10 days or so away, but they're growing happily in the hothouse, so they'll be ready to take off as soon as I can get them out.